Hi folks, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be doing a note card holder, and you might know them as a recipe holder, but you can make them for whoever, and they're really neat. And just came up with this the other day, and so I've got one carved out ready to be painted, and then we've got one here that we're going to show you today how to carve. And so we'll give you the dimensions here in a little bit, but get your glove and tools and let's go. All right, so our pattern is out of basswood, and it's about 3 5/8 long by 2 3/8 wide and a 1/2 inch thick. So the only two tools you're going to need for this project is a V tool and a knife. Now when it comes to putting the eyes on, now you can see in this here, I carved the eyes in for this. Now that's pretty tedious, and of course I'm getting ready to carve the eyes into that guy. But if you just want to forget the eyes and nose, just paint your nose on and your eyes and call it good. So it's up to you as a carver. So let's get started. We're going to take our V-tool and we are going to V-tool all of our pencil marks that we have on this little feller. And we're going to come in and use this 3/16 V or whatever V-tool you have that will get the job done here. All right. Now this might not be a nice little afternoon project. Won't take you long. Maybe 30, 35 minutes of carving. Again, we'll have this description of this for you to print off in the description below. And so make sure you look that up and be able to print that off. And all we're doing is just outlining. His dog is sleeping at his feet there, his old hound dog, his buddy. And we're going to just carve in these features into a flat piece of wood. And you can, paint your hillbilly or dog, whatever colors you would like. And don't be afraid to try out these projects. I know it's kind of a small project, but it's pretty cool. Pretty cool. All right, so now we're going to take, now remember, you're holding a small piece in your hand. It doesn't matter if it's a big piece or small piece, but a small piece is more likely because your fingers are a lot closer on the other side, right here. So always watch your cuts and make sure your fingers are not going to be part in the way there, the best that you can. And remember, take your time making the stop cuts on any piece that you do, but especially smaller pieces like this. You'll have less, and just pay attention. Don't get distracted by things like that, all right? Okay, so we're going to make the straps there where there's overhauls. Cut that in there. And for the crook of the legs, the crotch there, cut in the crotch. Okay. Now you can take this and enlarge this if you need to, if you don't want something this small. But for it to hold the clothespin that I glued on the back of it, you see there, it's just the right size. And, whatever you'd like to, put an encouraging note on it or something. Give that to somebody for just a, hey, thanks for being my friend, or whatever. Okay, I believe now we got one more. Do his overhauls there, the strap there that comes down and buttons. All right, so we're going to take our knife and we're going to undercut there the hat some. And we got to put in his sideburns or the hair on the side. That way we can get this face tucked in under the hat here. Again, you're not worrying about his hands. They're in his pocket. Things like that. Working on his arm. Excuse me. And make it look like it's going all the way around the body, like you would a full carving of a caricature, if you can. Or if you got a friend that's into wood carving, send this to them. You do. Or Mother's Day gift coming up. Mother's Day is coming up. Father's Day. Graduations. All those wonderful days coming up. I use acrylic colors on my carvings, so but whatever you want to use, that's what counts. If you like watercolors, use them. Outlining the strap coming up along the side here, where his hands would go into the pocket area. And you're going to be putting the crook of the arm in right here on both sides. That way it gives some action here and here. Again, put small little cuts here and there to create working on his pant legs, down the seam where the split in the pants would be, the legs would be. The split would be if he tore his pants. So anyway, where the legs come together here. Okay, I forgot to outline his toes. I use a flesh color here for the toes and the facial features. And again, we're going to make a little big nose or a nose on him. I don't know how big it's going to be, but he's going to just realize that his nose is right on his big feet, so it might be smelly. Ooh. Of course, some of them do walk around barefoot a lot. We're going to drop the cuffs behind the toes where the toes will stick out. Come here along the bottom. I'm going to get ready to get it close up here for you, show you what we're doing. Okay, so that's where we're at so far. We're getting there. Working on the dog, rounding the features of the dog on here. If you can, get rid of the bandsaw cuts. I cut this out on the bandsaw the other day, and it's just scraps of wood I had. And going across the grain makes a lot of noise. Getting that tail to where it'll stand out away from his body. Carving behind the ear, where the ear can stand out. Maybe this old hillbilly just washed his feet and the dog is happy that he's washed his feet. I'm going to drop this head in just a little bit. And we're going to make a little socket for his eye here. Doesn't have to be much, but just a little. Show the slide of the forehead a little bit of where the eye would be there. And so the eye, I'll show you right here, be right there. Take your pencil. So just put in that little eye right there. Just to show you just to show you. All right. Now we're going to split his toes. I know that doesn't sound very pleasant, but in the carving world, it's just part of it. He's got to be able to wiggle his toes. That way he can keep the toe jam out of there. Okay. I'm going to bring the side of his cuffs around a little bit, where it's showing a little bit of the side of his foot. Not much. Not much. Because you want to be able to stand this up, make sure that you don't take too much off the bottom, or it makes your piece rock back and forth. Because it's going to hold a card or a piece of paper or whatever. Rounding off the front here. Cup in just a little bit here where the hands would be to show some action there, like in the pocket. Working on the mustache here, getting it shaped. Let's work on the hat up here a little bit to get the stove pipe hat part of it set back on the main part of the hat here. Okay. Start flattening out the hat a little bit. We can catch some rainwater. Work up on the sides. Again, we're getting rid of the bandsaw marks. Can make the hat turn back some, give the illusion that it's completely full hat. Okay. All right, let's round off the puppy dog tail. Might be his best coon dog here, who knows? Rabbit dog, something. They're quite friends. I think every boy ought to have a dog eventually. And girls too. Break up that ear a little bit there to give it some action in the ear. Then I'm going to take a stop cut, put it right about in there, just right above the tailbone, and extend just a little bit of that tail. There we go. That looks better. Just don't want it to look like it's just been glued on there. Give it some turns and twists. All right, so now we're going to carve off the surface for the beard here. Or if you have a semi-flat gouge, you do the same. You'll be all right. Okay, now I'm going to take my knife and start rounding the mustache. Set that sideburns off the side there a little bit. Okay. Now the next thing we're going to do is we're going to put in the hair for this guy. Round off that face just a little bit. All right, and then the toes too. Take the surface off the toes. And then we're going to take a V-tool and come right up along the side here to create the cuff. Before his pants there. Because he's got a long, baggy pair of pants on, overalls. So, exaggerate those features. Everything don't have to be like you just got it out of the custom tailor shop. Put cuts and things like that in your piece. Break it up. All right. Set that hat back just a little bit more. That way, if you want to put a tuft of hair right there, you can. If you want. Don't have to. It's your carving. All right, now let's put our button in. And he's going to be right there. Right smack middle. He's going to be the big button. May call him Big Buttons. Who knows? Okay, let's come back in. This doesn't want to release there, so let's take that. Be careful that you don't undercut your button. All right. See there in the camera? Little button right there. Keep your drawers up. It's a good thing. All right, now the last thing we're going to do is put in the hair of this guy. And again, we're using the V-tool on hillbillies because of the roughness of them. They're out in the elements. A lot of times they are depicted as lazy people. In reality, they were not, and still is not. We have hillbillies here, but they don't dress like this much anymore. But we'll have a few people run around in overalls. That's all right. But they weren't known for laziness. They were known for their independence, family, and the work ethic. And I'm sure some of them probably were like a little shine once in a while. But overall, good people. All right. Now, we'll take a V-tool and we're going to put in the hair. And we're using short strokes on this guy. He's got hair along the side. This is about a 1/16 V that I'm using here. Working our way up to the mustache. And clean up this here on the side. Missed that there. Okay. Now we can come in and put our hair. Can I finish this out? Now we'll put in just an indication of a little bit of a mouth right there. You can use tomato spice there to enhance that more if you want to. That's the color that I use for lips and tongues and things like that when I carve. Then I want you to notice there's his nose right there. Yeah, pencil there. Maybe it's so small you can't see it, but right there is his nose. So black, take that your color and blacken that with black or whatever, and make that nose stand out. All right. Now let's continue with our beard. And again, turn and twist. Don't make your hairs too straight. Those of you that are just beginner carvers, this would be a great project for you to help you to establish depths in your carving and also your painting technique. Learn how to paint your projects if you want, or stain them or leave them natural, but I'd put some type of a protecting coating on it somehow, because basswood does get dirty very easily. That's why I wash every carving when I get done carving it before I sit down at the painting bench and start painting. And so that's important. Even if you're going to stain it, I would wash it, let it dry, and then put your favorite stain on, or whatever, sealer, whatever you want. Paint your dog. You don't have to be white and black like a blue tick hound or whatever. He could be whatever color you want him to be. All right, so there he is right there. But now we're going to, we'll just pencil in the nose here for you. Again, you just do whatever you like here. If you want to carve them in, why do so. Anyway, something like that there, something simple, whatever. But anyway, if you want to, carve them in like that, why, watch my eye carving videos. And then as you can see here, take that off of there where you can see it better, but you can see the difference. All right. This has been a fun project. I hope that you will take this and try it. Again, it will be in the description for you. I don't put the paint schemes on there. You come up with your own paint schemes, but I use acrylics. And anyway, again, if you want the pattern for this will be in the link in the description below. Please like and subscribe, and we'll see you real soon, and happy carving.